So that's what's going in. I'm your host, Jim Polzel. A lot of exciting things going on. We're going to aim to do 5 shows this week. We did 3 last week, so we'll see how that goes. And pardon me. That's where this goes. Make sure I'm on the air with everybody here. Four, 3, 2, 1, here we go. Hi, this is Jim from Safety Wars. Before we start the program, I want to make sure everyone understands that we often talk about OSHA and EPA citations, along with some other regulatory actions from other agencies, legal cases, and criminal activity. Everyone is innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. Proposed fines are exactly that, and they are often litigated, reduced, or vacated. We use available public records, news accounts, and press releases. We cannot warranty or guarantee the details of any of the stories we share, since we are not directly involved with these stories, at least not most of the time. Enjoy the show.
This show is brought to you by Safety FM.
And from the border of liberty and prosperity, the highway to the north, this is Safety Wars for Monday, February 3rd, 2025. Right on the tip of my tongue. I almost said 2020. Right on the tip. So I was dealing with a family member the other day. We had to sign some legal documents, and he made a mistake. He put out 2024, and he said, "Oh, this is like the first time I had to sign something in 2025. Start all over again." Usually, this is the week that screws you up. You're going good, going good, going good, going good. Groundhog Day comes, and then you're 24. Anyway, hope you had a great weekend there. And I know I had a busy weekend. I was one of the participants in the Klondike Derby for the Boy Scouts, or now we call them Scouts, and no longer just boys. The Scouts in Rockland County and the surrounding areas. We had people coming from New Jersey. We had people coming from Bethel Woods, New York, over by Woodstock. I care. And I tell you what, it was cold, but we did have nice warm food. We had, I was in charge of chili. We had another guy who made pulled pork. Except it was like a Puerto Rican style pulled pork. It was phenomenal. And, of course, coffee. How much coffee? Again, my doctor said, "Jimmy, gotta cut down on the coffee, on the caffeine. You're gonna drink decaf." Okay, well, whatever. It seems like I'm cheating. Well, what's going on in the safety world? A lot of stuff going on. Now, we've been hearing stuff all since the election that OSHA is going to be banned. OSHA is going to be banned. Blah, 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 blah. And we hear it, and I'm like, well, where the hell are they getting this? Well, I heard. And everybody's very well meaning here. It's not that we did, it's not that we're, pardon me, not that people are looking forward to this or anything like this. But, no, this started, I guess, and this is the Safarth, Environmental Safety Update.com by Safarth Shaw, Matthew Sloan, Daniel R. Birnbaum, Adam Young. And this is from all the way back 2 months ago, December 4th. The synopsis, and it agrees with our own Shelton Primus here on Safety FM. With another dramatic reversal of a pro-labor Democratic administration to a second Trump administration, we anticipate that OSHA is likely to pivot away from its current enforcement-heavy agenda to a greater emphasis on cooperation with the business community. And we're waiting for the OSHA, nominee for OSHA and the Department of Labor to get through the whole nomination process and everything else. Now, just the way it is, it's a process. Now, I hanging out on Reddit and everything else. We came across an article here, and this is for constructionpros.com, article by Brandon Knoll from today, dated today. Andy Biggs, Arizona Republican, who served Arizona's 5th District since 2017, introduced a new bill that would abolish OSHA, ending more than 50 years of national progress for worker and job site safety. And I went and I looked up the bill. Here, I have the bill right here. Hold on. So I'm going to do a share screen here. Give me a second. And this is the text of the bill. This is H.R. 86, the NOSHA Act. N-O-S-H-A. No, right? N-OSHA, or No OSHA Act. And this is 119th Congress, which is the one that we're in. I signed up for alerts on this bill. It was introduced on 1/3/2025, which was the first day of the session. And it is in the House Education and the Workforce Committee. And the latest action is what was referred to the House Committee on Education and Workforce. And the actions that were here, this is right out of Congress.gov bill, and referred to the House, right? These are the actions. Let me see if I could zoom in and introduce the House, right? Refer to the House Commission. Now, this is like, let's see, he was elected in 2016, so it's 2017, 2019, 2021, 2023, and this is like the 5th incarnation of this bill. And it's gone nowhere, went nowhere in the last Trump administration, went obviously nowhere with Biden, and yet to be determined what's going to happen here. I don't see this happening, to be honest with you. But again, it's in the news, safety in the news. That's what we discuss. That's what we have here. So here's the text of the bill, H.R. 86, to abolish the Occupational Safety and Health Administration and for other purposes. The House of Representatives, January 3rd, 2025, Mr. Biggs of Arizona introduced the following bill, which was referred to the Committee on Education and Workforce, a bill to abolish OSHA and for other purposes, being enacted by the Senate and House of Representatives of the United States of America and Congress assembled. Section 1, short title. The act may be cited as Nullify Occupational Safety and Health Administration Act, or NOSHA, and Section 2 in general. The Occupational Safety and Health Act of 1970 is repealed. The Occupational Safety and Health Administration is abolished. Now, I did some research here with everything. So what happened is, we're able to go and share this tab. So here we have right off of, he's in Arizona, right? And he's quoted with a couple of articles where, what are they? I can't share them because they are copyrighted, so I'm not going to display them. I'll just read them off here. And as part of the media release regarding the new bill, H.R. 86 NOSHA, which the law, blah, 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 is quoted. Right, so he is quoted as saying, OSHA's existence is yet another example of the federal government creating agencies to address issues that are more appropriately handled by state governments and private employers. Despite this rationale, the bill itself lacks any further language should address states, require states to adopt their own set of safety rules, blah, 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 blah. Now, this is what, this article is from the constructionpros.com, It mentions different conflicts of interest between DOGE, right, Department of Government Efficiency under Elon Musk gets involved with this or anything else, like he did with the EPA, which we'll talk about earlier. We'll talk about later on. But I did a little bit of searching here. I said, well, how is Arizona? All right, how are they? How do they manage this? So Arizona is under a state plan. It's called the Industrial Commission of Arizona, ICA, and Arizona Division of Occupational Safety and Health, ADOSH. Right, the Arizona State Plan applies to all private sector employee workplaces, and they've had it from certified, right, initial approval in 1974, state plan certification in 1981, final approval in 1985. So the Arizona State Plan applies to all private sector workplaces in the state with the following exceptions. Maritime, I don't know how much, maybe, do they have a lake there? Big one? I forget offhand. I guess, a big lake over there. I've been over it several times. South of Vegas there. Between Kingman, Arizona, and Henderson, Nevada, is the dam. Somebody help me out there. Throw it in the chat box. The Hoover Dam. And with that, you might have the shipyard on there. I don't know. Contractors and subcontractors on federal establishments for which the federal government is, right, with that. Contract employees and contractor operated facilities engaged with the USPS. Copper smelters, I don't know how they got in that. And concrete or asphalt batch plants that are physically connected to a mine, Indian reservations, all working conditions of aircraft cabin crew members, I guess that's regulated by the FAA, and any hazard industry, geographical area, operation, or facility in which the state is unable to effectively exercise jurisdictions for reasons not related there. With that, state plan standards. ADOSH has adopted. ADOSH has adopted. Tongue twister there. Federal OSHA standards and incorporates them by reference. In addition, Arizona has the following unique standards: general industry, compressed gas, commercial driving operations, construction, fall protection, agriculture, field sanitation, hand and portable power tools, and enforcement programs. With that, so let's head on over to the Arizona Industrial Commission, and it has nice, looks like a nice clean website here. You have whistleblower for complaints, a section there, safety and health compliance. Let's see what that is. And no help. Reporting workplace fatality, reporting a workplace hospitalization, OSHA standards. And it goes right back to the OSHA website. And consultation and training services, complaint forms, whistleblower complaint forms, federal OSHA on-site consultation program, and with that, actually, I think I went swimming in this one. This was very familiar, this picture here. Anyway, I digress. And that's what it is. Now, I said, well, exactly. All right, let's go to the 5th Congressional District, which is the district of the sponsoring congressperson. What was his name again? Biggs, Andy Biggs. So let's see what the activity is there, because we have that. So I looked up a couple of zip codes here. And this is from the OSHA Establishment Search website. And you're able to look up your zip code. And right now, what do we have? So we have here and again, these have all been resolved and settled for the most part, and apparently is, and everyone's innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. And here we have, here, okay, here's one. Here is a roofing company of some sort, and they have other violations, right? Initial violation, current 0. Okay, so it's an informal settlement, and it was on 1926 1053 B01. That was the standard. So let's see, B01. We're zooming on over here. B01. So this is the 3 foot, 3 foot or above. Now, how do you classify that as not serious? No, with a ladder, with fall protection, right? This says 3 feet or higher, right? Ladder side rail shall extend at least 3 feet above the upper landing surface, just the ladder is used to gain access. How is that other and not serious? Because it's other, right, is apparently $0. I'd love to know. I'm not an expert in Arizona here. Here we have 17158. So you have another one here. Another other for $0. And what's this one? Housekeeping. Something to do with housekeeping. 1926 is a construction site 0025A. 055A. During the course of construction, alteration or repairs from and scrap lumber for trimming nails and other debris shall be kept cleared from the work area, passages, and stairs in and around buildings and other structures. With that. So what's going on in Arizona? Let's pick another one here. I'm just picking them at random. Here we have 3 of them from another contractor. This is a construction company. Oh, they have one. Serious. $7,813. What do we got on there? Ladders, B13. So the 1926 1053 B13. Let's go on down here. Top step of the step ladder shall not be used as a step. $7,500 fine. Okay. Not a lot of real activity going on in a lot of these things here. Going all the way back to 2021, some of these. Town of Queen Creek Fleet Department. Okay. And this was not updated. Still open, probably, right? There's another contractor. $161,323. What did they do? Willful violation. 1926-0652. Okay, so for a willful violation, requirements for protective systems, let's click on that. This is an excavation. Probably if I did a deeper dive, this likely had a fatality or massive injury or other catastrophic thing. So what's my point here in doing this? I'm trying to add some context into what's going on here, why someone would support the repealment of OSHA. And I think what it is he feels that Arizona has its own OSHA. Right? I'm speculating here, but I don't think I'm speculating too much. I'm drawing an inference. No. Hold on. Something is jarring my memory. Okay, here it is. This is a little bit context here. This is from February 16, 2023. Federal OSHA to leave Arizona state plan in place. So OSHA was going to rescind. Now we have the context. OSHA was going to rescind Arizona's approval. This is from AIHA.org, American Industrial Hygiene Association org news, from February 16, 2023. That's almost 2 years ago. Now we have our context here. Something jarred my mind, that Arizona almost lost its thing. So this is according to the AIHA. In April 2022, OSHA announced that it began the process of revoking Arizona's state plan due to nearly a decade-long pattern of failures to adopt and enforce standards and enforcement policies at least as effective as those of federal OSHA. The agency proposals cited concerns in the state plan that failed to adopt national emphasis programs, COVID-19 healthcare, blah, 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 blah. And if you really want to go in here, now we have the context. So we're saying this for the Cliffs portion of our program. So we're hearing a lot about H.R. 86, Congressman Biggs repealing OSHA, and it sounds to me like this is in retaliation to Arizona almost having their OSHA state plan yanked in 2022, 2023, is what it sounds like to me. Why didn't any of the other big name outfits point this out? Don't know. But that's why you listen to Safety Wars. And that's why I am here, to let you know that.
Safety Wars is streaming now.
SafetyFM.com.
Hard hat on my head, set the alarm. High voltage love in your arms. Steel toe boots, steal my heart. Now love's a machine, start to start. Danger signs, but we don't mind. We're safety certified, hearts aligned. Locked out, tagged out, hearts entwined. You and me, we're one of a kind. Fire extinguisher, spark of desire. Emergency exits, this love's on fire. Hard hat area, yeah, we comply. Our love's as strong as reinforced supply. Our love's like gears, it turns so true. Turbines of passion spinning with you. Mechanical love, it's built to last. Safety first, romance moving fast. Danger signs, but we don't mind. We're safety certified, hearts aligned. Locked out, tagged out, hearts entwined. You and me, we're one of a kind. Worksite romance, it's OSHA approved. Love that's steady, never misused. Red tape barriers can't keep us apart. Love evolves, safety from the start. Danger signs, but we don't mind. We're safety certified, hearts aligned. Locked out, tagged out, hearts entwined. You and me, we're one of a kind. Worksite romance, it's OSHA approved. Love that's steady, never misused. Red tape barriers can't keep us apart. Love evolves, safety from the start. Worksite romance, it's OSHA approved. Love that's steady, never misused. Red tape barriers can't keep us apart. Love evolves, safety from the start.
And that is Safety Warrior with Love in the Safety Zone. We have Valentine's Day coming up. So, yes, they're corny, they're funny, they're whatever you want them to be, these songs. Yeah. But if you need safety services, give us a call, 845-269-5772. And no, that's what's going on. with that. Hold on. All right. Yeah. People having issues with TV apps tonight. So, where were we? A lot of stuff going on today with the EPA. So we haven't gone into EPA news. So I think we added a lot of on the first segment. I think we added a lot of context here with OSHA, where OSHA was going to deny them the plan, deny their approval, and I think this is just retaliation here with this, and I think it might have been initial retaliation with the Biden administration when the bill was first proposed. It sounds like something going on in the background here with that. So, all right. But why? Why none of these other outfits pick up on this? I don't know. I know that's why we're here. That's the advantage here with that. All right. So we're clearing things out. EPA. And we'll come on back to the OSHA, I think, a little bit later on. So let's do a share screen here. So here's from EPA website, EPA News. Liam Zeldin sworn in as 17th EPA Administrator. Administrator Zeldin will work closely with the dedicated career of officials at the agency to fulfill the agency's mission to protect human health and the environment. He just for complete disclosure here, he's a local guy here from New York, Suffolk County, which is out on Long Island. You say, well, it's the same state, blah, blah, blah. Right now, Suffolk County, most days is a 2.5 hour drive where this guy is from. But he is a fellow New Yorker, and that's the story that goes. That's a story for another day. On January, I left New Jersey for love. How's that for romance? On January 29, 2025, Lee Zeldin was sworn in as the 17th Administrator of the U.S. EPA. Administrator Zeldin will work closely with the dedicated career officials at the agency. And this is a quote. It is my honor to serve as the 17th EPA Administrator under President Trump's leadership. We will take great strides to defend every American's access to clean air, clean water, and clean land. We will maintain and expand the gold standard of environmental stewardship and conservation that President Trump set forth in his first administration, while also prioritizing economic prosperity. I look forward to working with the agency's talented staff and scientists to deliver results for the American public. It's time to get to work. End quote. And a little bit of a bio here. He is a U.S. Army vet, and he continues to serve as a lieutenant colonel in the Army Reserve. He served in the New York State Senate from 2011 to 2014, later representative of New York's 1st Congressional District from 2015 to 2023. And he's during his 8 years in Congress, Zeldin worked across party lines, Reserve, Long Island Sound, and Plum Island. Those were so what's Long Island Sound? That's between New York, Long Island, and Connecticut, and then it goes the eastern end. Eastern end has by Orient Point. It has Plum Island, aka, if you remember Silence of the Lambs, Anthrax Island. Hannibal Lecter had referred to it as. Pretty interesting place there. There was a book out there, Lab 257, that details failures at the lab over the years. And for the most part, it's been debunked. Once genetic analysis came out on certain illnesses like Lyme disease. So Lyme disease was always rumored to be released from Plum Island, or was an experiment, but they found out that the Lyme disease at that place and the Lyme disease in Lyme, Connecticut, completely different strain, completely different type of Lyme disease. With that, by the way, I had that 3 times. But anyway, you support. So that's basically Plum Island, and that's where the Department of Agriculture had their research. That's basically it. He also led the fight for Sea Grant, combated per and polyfluoroalkyl substances. Those are forever chemicals in drinking water. Voted for the Lautenberg Chemical Safety Act and supported clean energy projects on Long Island. With that, so good luck to Lee Zeldin. With that, now there's a lot of criticism with him. With that, because this happened here. Senate confirms. That's another one. So this is from New York Times. EPA. Hold on. I'm sorry, folks, but we're reading all of this off of a computer. Here, EPA tells more than 1,000 they could be fired immediately. A spokeswoman for Lee Zeldin and the new head of the agency said the goal was to create an effective and efficient federal workforce. Right? So the Trump administration, is from Lisa Friedman from the New York Times. The Trump administration has more than 1,100 EPA employees who work on climate change, reducing air pollution, enforcing environmental laws, and other programs, so they can be fired at any time. An email reviewed by New York Times was sent to staff members who were hired within the past year to have a probationary status. With that, and again, no, these are all recent hires and some other ones built in there. With that, so you gotta know how. Oops, I did not mean to do that. Stop sharing. I shared that. I don't know what to say on this, right? You need people to work to fulfill. No, EPA is a statutory requirement. Same thing with OSHA. OSHA is statutory. You're not going to abolish OSHA so easy. Not going to abolish the EPA so easy. They were passed at around the same time, with the EPA concerned with the ambient environment and OSHA being involved with the workplace environment. 2 different focuses on that. But essentially, now what are you going to do? I mean, I know with the Department of Labor and the EPA, the press releases have slowed down a lot with that. And, we'll adapt here with this. And here we go. So this is off of the EPA website, the press releases. EPA Administrator Lee Zeldin visits East Palestine, Ohio. That was today, with Vice President J.D. Vance to mark a 2-year anniversary. On Monday, February 3rd, the U.S. EPA, Lee Zeldin took his first official trip in his new role to East Palestine, Ohio, with Vice President J.D. Vance, marked the 2-year anniversary. After and again, if you remember, we did 2 hours on 3 hours on Coast to Coast AM right after this happened in 2023. Commentary on that, so go and look that up. After the tragic train derailment in East Palestine, Ohio, ravaged with toxic chemicals, the local community needed strong leaders to fight for them. Then Senator J.D. Vance was one of the first elected officials to do so, and President Trump was on the scene within 19 days. East Palestine has a voice of President Trump and Vice President Vance at the White House. The administration will fight hard to make sure every American has access to clean air, land, and water. It's an honor to meet local residents, and I leave the trip once more motivated. To the cause than ever before. I'm going to have to do an update to that, see what things are. Again, man, it's 2 years today that happened with that. Yeah, we definitely have to go into that. 70 million gallons of impacted water have been managed. Restoration and derailment site and adjacent water areas is now in its final stages. With that, yeah, we'll look that up later in the week, I'm sure. Okay. Here we have the next one. EPA launches largest wildfire hazardous material removal effort in history. This is also today. The U.S. EPA is currently undergoing the largest wildfire hazardous waste cleanup in the history of the agency as it assists local governments and residents in the wake of catastrophic fires in L.A. EPA has completed a reconnaissance of 6,022 properties. This includes 3,636 properties impacted by the Eaton fire, and we'll be talking about this more in a minute, and 2,386 fires, properties impacted by the Palisades fire on that. Very frustrating. Currently, there are 1,050 response personnel in the field, up from 478 at the end of last week, and with an additional 280 mobilized in today. EPA is assembling 60 teams to clear hazardous materials from more than 13,000 residential and 250 commercial fire-impacted properties. EPA has convened a working group to coordinate with utilities, state and local, and federal stakeholders, and it's a very lengthy thing. I mean, there's a lot of stuff going on there with this. But that's basically with this. We have guidance phase 1 hazardous material removal. So is this on? Yes. This is right from the EPA. Phase 1 has begun. The U.S. EPA has been assigned by the FEMA to survey, remove, and dispose of hazardous materials from properties burned by the wildfires. This is like a flyer that they sent out. EPA's work removing hazardous materials is Phase 1 of the federal cleanup response. Phase 2 is debris removal and will be coordinated by FEMA. EPA will remove potentially dangerous everyday products like paint, cleaners and solvents, oils, batteries, and pesticides. EPA will remove lithium-ion batteries from vehicles, homes, and other products. EPA will remove visible asbestos and inspect pressure or fuel cylinders like propane tanks. Pardon me, I got the hiccups. After a fire, these products require special handling, especially if their containers are damaged. EPA field teams will also remove items thought to have asbestos if they are easy to identify, but the property will not be fully cleared until Phase 2. So how are they going to do this? And I would suggest we all save this for the future reference here, because I'm sure this will be handy if you're teaching a disaster response worker class. How will EPA remove hazardous materials from my property? They'll survey, and then they put a sign there, right? Like this on the right of the flyer. EPA will only remove hazardous materials. EPA, if there's firearms, they're going to call the local law enforcement. Oh, pretty interesting here. And what's the other flyer on the guidance on lithium batteries? Household items with lithium-ion batteries, and a whole long, extensive list here. If you hear a popping sound, hissing noise, or see fire and smoke, leave the area immediately. Don't attempt to extinguish or smother the battery, and move upwind at least 330 feet, the length of a football field. That's standard. I don't know if how many people realize that is like standard thing, 300 feet, length of a football field. How much an exclusion zone is for unknown materials. So that's, they're incorporating other guidelines like from the DOD Department of Defense with that. Not DOD, DOT, Department of Transportation, ERG, Emergency Response Guide on that. So, all right. Not going to talk about that. Hold on. There was one area I wanted to talk about with this related to the wildfires. All right. So we're going to share again. Hold on. With this. Yes, I did show prep today. It's an incredible experience. Doing actual show prep. The Los Angeles Fire Department, right, is, again, this is, you say, why are we doing this again? Because we have some important information here. These are, and I'm not going to release their names again. You can go to lafd.org/fire-commission. To get everyone's name. I don't want to have any issues with this. And strangely, all of these people have been quiet on the Fire Commission. But guess what? That is not going to stay true because we have more information here. So we have, this is the calendar, documents and meeting minutes, and viewer agendas. And they canceled the 1/21/2025 meeting, 1/21/20. I wonder why. They canceled the 1/7 meeting. I wonder why. Now they're on to the 2/4/2025. Would not surprise me if they canceled tomorrow's meeting here. All right, so here we go. All is not going to be surprised at all. Now, they release an agenda. And if I can, and again, this is Pacific time, I'm going to go and let's see if this may be one of those meetings you really want to attend, but they allow you to do it remotely. Here are the phone numbers, and I'm going to give out the phone numbers because I think we should go. Hopefully they got their stuff together. I think that we should tune in to this one just to see what they're going to say. Right? All public comment will be heard at the beginning of the meeting and will be limited to 1 minute per agenda item. I tell you what, I'm going to tell you, and I said this to everybody before, 3 weeks ago. Here. This is what I need you to do, right? Or your community, your family, whoever it is. We need you to do this. You need to go into your community, especially the wooded areas. Like we have a lot of wooded areas here. And you need to go and survey the area. Are there modern forestry management practices going on? Is brush being cleared? Because this is what went on here. They were relying on summer help, basically, to do this. Basically, for whatever reason, it was like a YCC program, or what we call up here AmeriCorps program, to go and clear that out. And I'm sure everybody has good intentions here to do this. Wasn't enough to do this. They did not have enough capacity between neglect of manning the place. This is what, according to the fire chief, Crowley, also clearing out brush and everything else. And this has been going on for years. They need like 60-some new firehouses. I calculate that at roughly 240 pieces of new equipment also that go along with the firehouse, because you just can't have a firehouse. You have to have an engine. You have to have a truck. You got to have all the other stuff that goes along with it. All the equipment, training, and everything else. It's a thing. And it's not something you can do at one time. To recruit people and everything else takes a long time to train them. And as the chief of a fire department that you've heard of here who's a personal lifelong friend of mine, just because you reach the minimum requirements doesn't necessarily mean that you're qualified to do the job. With that, so what's my point here? I want everybody to go on down to the and let's see if I could. And here are the numbers. Individuals may listen to the fire commissioner meeting live by dialing 213, and they have all these numbers here. You can see them on the thing, but on the screen. I don't want to share them and then run into a problem. But what you need to do is go to the Los Angeles Fire Commissioner website here, and you can Google it and go and listen in. I tell you, this is going to be a news conference for the ages. This is going to be a public meeting for the ages, one of those. So if you could tune in with them, go on to their website and look it up here, or if you're in the neighborhood, maybe you could go there. And the meeting is at 12 p.m. Eastern, 12 p.m. Eastern time, 9 a.m. Pacific time tomorrow. And they have a whole series of phone numbers here. I'm not going to give them out in case they're wrong. And, then you're calling an old lady in the middle of the day. What's going on? No, not good. Again, go around to your local fire commission and say, hey, do we have this situation in our community? What the hell are you going to do about it? Because this, do you have enough equipment? Do you have enough training? Are you actually clearing brush? Do we have the capacity? Can't anything like this happen here? That's where the question is. That's where we got to learn for that. Let's go to our next commercial break here, and we'll be back. I don't know if we'll put on more music. We're getting close to the end here, so...
In the professional safety community, communication and planning are just a few keys to your program's success. The question many practitioners have is, where do I start? Dr. Jay Allen, the creator of the Safety FM platform and host of the Rated R Safety Show, has built a global foundation to help you along the way. Go to safetyfm.com and listen to some of the industry's best and most involved professionals, including Blaine Hoffman with the Safety Pro, Sam Goodman with the Hop Nerd, Sheldon Primus with the Safety Consultant, Jim Pozell with Safety Wars, Emily Elrod with Unapologetically Bold, and many others. As individuals, we can do great things, but as a team, we become amazing. Dial into safetyfm.com today and surround yourself with a powerful force of knowledge and support.
Is your safety training old, stale, and hackneyed? Is your safety trainer still preaching a warped version of behavior-based safety? How about safety training that is designed to actually address and assess your hazards and liabilities and is not standardized baloney from generations ago? Contact the Safety Wars team at safetywars.com or call me, Jim Polzel, at 845-269-5772. Remember, if you are receiving this message, you are the solution to unsafe workplaces.
skies are crying. Smoke and ashes keep us sighing. Homes are gone, we can't believe. Silent whispers in the breeze. Winds are howling, fires fierce. Fear and worry, hearts are pierced. Families running nowhere to hide. Desperation on every side. Flames of Los Angeles lighting the night. Tears of sorrow in the fearsome fight. Lives are shattered, dreams ablaze. In the city's fiery haze, brave souls battle nature's wrath. Through the heat they clear a path. Heroes rise in the darkest hour, steadfast like an iron tower. Lifeline severed, hope runs thin. Amidst the smoke we're finding kin. Strength in numbers pushing through. Together we will see this through. Flames of Los Angeles lighting the night. Tears of sorrow in the fearsome fight. Lives are shattered, dreams ablaze. In the city's fiery haze.
OSHA recordables, catastrophic losses, environmental disasters. You want answers? So do I. This is Jim Posel with Safety Wars.
That's my daddy!
So we have some other things we want to share with you here. Apparently all the fires, just I failed to mention this, have been contained in this area with this. But again, obscure government websites out there we're going to check back on with it. I mean, every time that one of these incidents occurs, we learn new things about the information that's out there with this. So, no, stay tuned. So for example, we have the National Interagency Fire Center. Never heard of them. Well, it's out there. Helps to coordinate things throughout the entire country where we're going to put wildfire resources. Here we have LA Council okays funding for the fire readiness measures. The City Council Tuesday authorized use $125,000 for fire readiness measures that are expected to benefit communities in Northeast Los Angeles. In a unanimous vote, I bet for damn sure it was unanimous. Council members approved that two separate but related motions introduced by Councilwoman Eunice Hernandez to provide the LA Fire Department with $50,000 and a nonprofit with $75,000 for the development of a disaster resiliency plan. So what they are going to do is $50,000, and I'm a member of this here, to expand the Community Emergency Response Team, also known as CERT Team. With that, basically it's volunteers, it's the lowest level of emergency response for government out there, and it's mostly to no, at least this is how it's managed here. A community emergency response team is their big thing is community surveys. Why do you need community surveys? Because to be eligible for FEMA funding and other disaster relief funding measures, you have to document how the community is impacted. So you have so what the idea is to put one person or two people, preferably two or more, in every neighborhood of a community. So rather than a government official coming out there and saying, "Hi, I'm from the government and I'm here to help," you have Joe and Nancy from down the street. Hey, they're checking up on you. How you doing? Okay, we're doing a little survey here, and we're going to report this back. During Sandy, a lot of communities are not set up to do this. They lost out on a lot of disaster funding and resources because they couldn't document stuff. So this is a good program. I'm glad to see that they're promoting it with that. I mean, it's a good thing, positive thing overall with that. Here's another one. L.A. Relied on and this is from Michael Ruse from MSNBC a week ago. L.A. Fire Chief Kristen Crowley warned board members in writing 2 years ago that her department needed to create a pair of fully staffed crews dedicated to clearing brush and maintaining wildfire lines to bolster the part-time team it had, consisting mostly of young volunteers. But despite her plea for funding, the city council authorized only a fraction of it and hiring stalled, caught up in the red tape of the LA bureaucracy, according to a new report. And the report is in Washington Post. Here you can go and look it up yourself, detailing the memo. There's a memo again. When she did her interview with Fox News, she had all the memos sitting right out there, and they zoomed in on them. This is from 23 hours ago. Officials declare California wildfires contained as they begin the long task of recovery. I tell you what, this looks like a war zone. What went through here with this. And again, a lot of charities are out there soliciting help and money. Make sure it's a legitimate charity out there. And here we have House members from LA want pollutants from South California wildfires tracked. I'd hate to say this, but they probably should have been doing this like 3 weeks ago with this. And we did review on this show the ambient air quality, the NAAQS levels of everything but lead, right? For this, I would say, no, we'll talk about community response probably this week. I keep saying, but probably this week. Nearly a dozen congressional members in or near L.A. are asking the federal government to launch a joint task force to monitor harmful pollutants that have resulted in recent wildfires to track potential impact on Southern California representatives, right? The representatives who represent areas mostly impacted by wildfires related concerns. Now, this is something I'm going to mention. Lead, they're worried about lead, chlorine, asbestos, larger ash particles, and heavy metals. The heavy ash particles are, unless you're dealing with a specific contaminant, I wouldn't be so worried about it. I would be worried about the stuff that you can inhale, which is basically 10 microns or lesser in diameter. And EPA monitors right now under the NAAQS program for PM 2.5, that's 2.5 microns, and PM 10 microns. And it also measures other things. But what they're talking about, lead, you cannot measure in real time. Chlorine, yeah, you can measure in real time for the most part. It's a little bit more complicated than that. Asbestos, again, no real-time monitoring. Other heavy metals, no real-time monitoring for that. Now, that's for air quality with that. And no, we probably should cover that a little bit more tomorrow or later on with this. And this is all from the Orange County Register with this. I don't know. But anyway, we're nearing the end of our Monday program here. Let me play the outro, and I will see you tomorrow.
The views and opinions expressed on this podcast are those of the host and its guest and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of the company. Examples of analysis discussed within this podcast are only examples. They should not be utilized in the real world as the only solution available, as they are based only on very limited and dated open source information. Assumptions made within this analysis are not reflective of the position of the company. No part of this podcast may be reproduced, stored in a retrieval system, or transmitted in any form or by any means, mechanical, electronic, recording, or otherwise, without prior written permission of the creator of the podcast, Jay Allen.